So I'm going to go through the set list in order. I'm going to talk about, briefly my drum part, how I came up with this, and why I came up with this. So the first song in the set list is song 2, and that's got quite a syncopated guitar riff. So initially I just thought, I want to play just under the whole thing, because I just wanted to lay down a solid foundation. I didn't want to distract too much, but unfortunately our bassist Nathan was having some timing issues, and I basically thought the best way to overcome that was to put a bass drum every time the bass plays a note. And this really helped him stay in time, and it changed the beat to something that I actually prefer to just the original beat that I wanted to do, which is this. And this just backs up the whole track, gives it more power, and makes the riff just do something more. And so then for the build-up, the pre-chorus, I took everything down for the first one, and just went to the hi-hats, and I played this rhythm. So I'm emphasizing some offbeats there, so we're going like that. And then for the second half of the pre-chorus, I bring in a kick drum. And have this fill, just a basic fill. And that sounds like. And then for the chorus, I matched the rhythm of the guitars. So I played something like this. And then for the breakdown of this song, it's very slow. Time signature is 4/4, then 2/4, then 5/8. So to build up, I just did very light toms on the quavers. Second time round, and then I did the 5/8 on the snare. And then after that, the whole band comes in, it goes heavy, and I do crash cymbal. That's the beat I'm playing. It's just the first thing that came to me. It's how I just felt the track and how I felt to play that time signature, and I'd never had to change it. So yeah, that's song 2. Now for Nicotine Addiction, the riff, something that me and Ethan wrote a while ago, and it's 3 bars of 3/4 and then 1 bar of 2/4. And I felt it like this. That's what I played. It started off just but as I got more comfortable with playing in the time signature, I added more things like ghost notes. So like that. And again, there's not much to say about this drum part, but apart from that, it just follows the guitar melody, which is something that I like to do quite a lot. I listen to the guitar often just as much as the bass when I'm writing drum parts. And yeah, so for the 4/4 bit, I wanted it to be in half time. So I played semi-quavers on the hi-hat with one hand, and went for that feel. And then there's a bit where the bass goes do, 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 and I matched this with the hi-hat, so I went. So yeah, it's just listening for intricate little details that other musicians have come up with, and then seeing what I can do to complement that. And then before the chorus, 1 bar before the chorus, I go into normal time. And then at the end of the bar, I do a fill, another simple fill. And for some reason, when I was recording the track in studios, just naturally I just felt the two crashes, and that became part of the song that I, never stopped doing. For some reason, I just thought it was great. Bang, bang. The first two guitar hits are crotchets anyway, so to back them up with two crashes. It's quite nice because you've got those quavers going on the hi-hat. Sorry, I said semi-quavers earlier, I meant quavers. You got those quavers going on the hi-hat there, and then they're kind of it just helps with the song and just emphasises that chorus, and again adds another layer of depth to it. But it's not something that I really thought about, it's just something that I felt. And then the fill, it's just a fill on the hi-hat. The second half of the chorus I wanted to open it up and go to the ride cymbal and then have my foot doing this and doing like semi-quaver syncopation with my snare and my bass drum. So the fill sounds like this. And then the beat I did is... it goes, yeah, I can't remember the exact lyric, but there's I match some of Maria's vocals with a fill. I think it's Baby Light. And then I do this sort of Neil Peart thing, it's something I took from Neil Peart, and he goes... And it just sounds awesome at this fast tempo, to be honest, and that's why I did it. So. And then half time. And back into the riff. So yeah, that's Nicotine Addiction. Not really too much I can say. I matched the half time in the bridge. So, and then same thing, same idea with going from a verse to a chorus, that change in feel, the bar before as well. Go to the hi-hat, make it more trashy. Same beat though, but yeah, this time in normal time instead of half time. And then semi-quavers on the hi-hat. That's Nicotine Addiction. The next song was Butterfly. So I just felt this in the moment. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but at the O2 I was thinking I should do a cross stick when the guitar comes in. And on the ride, so I can't do it because I'm using brushes, but imagine it's a cross stick. Nothing's needed. Literally nothing's needed apart from this. And then the bass comes in. And when the bass comes in, I add my bass drum. So it's just about matching what the musicians are doing, what the other musicians are doing. There's no point in the drums building up if nothing else is building up. And then, so that's the verse. The chorus, down, 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 no, 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 no. I wanted to match that riff, so I went. That didn't take any thought. I just felt that really naturally. And then the outro is crazy. So they had it in 7, and there's this Them Crooked Vultures song called No One Loves Me and Neither Do I. And it's got an amazing bit. It's a polymeter, so where the guitars have I think it's like 2 bars of 4 and then bar of 3, something like that. But a bar of 3 is the important bit, but the drums always stay in 4 with this heavy. So I did that for their 7 beat, and it basically means that then the beat 1 becomes a snare, so. Like that. But I put the crash on whenever their 1 was, so it's a polymeter, but I'm still emphasizing the 1, and that's what I think was really cool. And then I was like to the band, I said, then the drums are going to lock into 7, and then the groove is going to really hit. And then once the groove is hit, and the drums have been flashy, we're going to change it up and do something crazy. So yeah, to make the drums flashy, I kind of did. Stuff like that. I was basically just jamming in 7. I love jamming in 7, and it worked for this song. And then the next bit is crazy. I don't think I have even figured out the time signature for it yet, even though we've already done the performance. But this is what I play. The way that spiraled was just me saying, let's do something crazy for the sake of doing something crazy. The outro's already set in 7, we might as well make it more crazy. And they just matched my hits, so. Yeah, it kind of just came out of nowhere in one of our last pod sessions. And it was, you know, it sounded heavy, it sounded amazing. We were like, we have to use that. We simply have to use that. What else is there to talk about? Yes, the 7-bit. So what I did there is I sped up the tempo, and then it comes in. It comes in at some point, and then everyone plays a riff in 7, and I just did a 7/4 beat. So. That, and then it goes into 4/4 for Nico's solo. He likes soloing in 4/4, and I just did the beat. And then after 4 times, went into double time. And then I took it back down to normal time. And then we went into, well, I doubled the double time again. I guess it'd be quadruple time. By the way, it's not looking good for my brushes, but that's fine. And I went like this. Yeah, and it's just a crazy energetic and crazy end to a crazy song. And that's what I wanted to do, and that's what we did. Next song was, well, I guess it's an intermission, it's not really a song, they just jam while we introduce ourselves, I suppose. I don't think I really can say anything about that, it's just improvising in 4/4, having fun. Next song is the reggaeton song, the salsa song. It's got a name in Spanish. I'm terrible with Spanish, so I'm not even going to try and say it. We call it the reggaeton song. And for me, this was by far my favourite song to play. There's a lot I can talk about with this song, but it was so much fun to groove. But the beat I wanted to kind of keep for the verse is like that. And I had a lot of fun playing on my floor tom and my high tom and emphasising the high tom. Like that. And for the first verse, I had the kick like that. And for the second verse, and no snare. And for the second verse, I brought in the snare and the kick. Like that. And it just adds a layer to the second verse, right? Something you didn't have before. You're not listening to the same thing again. It's just important to keep a bit of variety, especially with drum parts. And songs like this, it can get quite repetitive and loopy, and I just wanted to do something a bit different. I doubt anyone in the audience noticed it, but it's that subtlety that helps, you know, that the subtlety of having that kick on every crotch. Like that just helped a lot. And then, so for the, I guess it's pre-chorus, but second half of the verse, I finish it with a fill. And hold on the stops, and then. So it's kind of just teasing going somewhere else, and then it goes even lower than it already was. But this time we have a snare. But we're just using the ride to make it low, just to make the whole track feel like it's about to go somewhere. So. And then I just didn't even have to write this fill, it just came to me before the chorus. I thought we need to have a stop, we have to have a stop, and then a beat drop. So I felt. And then the chorus comes in and the full beat comes in. Now this was so much fun for me to play. So what I was doing is keeping this rhythm with my feet. That was the beat, and then fills and stuff like very simple fills, and then like for example when Maria goes "Forgive me," I matched her vocal melody with my crashes. So, and again, it's just backing up what the rest of the band is doing. It's so important as a drummer. A lot of drummers always think, you know, I just have to hold a groove, I just have to sit back, but that's not the case for me. For me, I like to match what my bandmates are doing and, you know, add some complexity and depth to my drum parts that people can listen to, and hopefully that, you know, adds to the song that even non-musicians can appreciate as well. Now, what can we talk about? The drum solo or the bridge. So this is really interesting because it comes in on the last semiquaver of the previous bar, and the rhythm is ba ba da ba 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 ba. And it took us a long time to get this, but yeah. So I had, I think it's 8 bars total drum solo or something like that, and I got that phrase which I match like that. But again, I couldn't tell you why, it's just immediately how I felt. Like that. Yeah, so the first thing I played, and then, so all together. Not play that perfectly, but that was my drum solo. I played it a lot better at the O2, thankfully. Also, I can't really play with brushes, broken brushes. Go easy on me. Go easy on me. But yeah, so the fills one by one. I can't even think of it. So that's the first one, yeah. Second one, sextuplets. I'm just going around the kit and going like that, so just a kick right at the end. Like that, and that's the drum solo. And then is the fun part, the speed up, the improvised tempo change, the gradual speed, and then just a salsa crazy ending. So we had a lot of people doing a lot of different things. But I basically just added more ghost notes and just did more stuff. It's basically just singles, but stuff like well. We talked about doing a speed up in pods. We never really rehearsed it, and it came to the O2 and I was like, we are absolutely smashing this song. I've got to do it. You know, we have to speed up. And that's what we did. My bandmates got the memo, and yeah, it just sounded amazing. I think that was our best song. So yeah, I was really proud of that. Now, on to the last song. This song is not that much for me to talk about because it's quite, you know, basic drum beat. The guitars, there's two arpeggiated guitars. They're playing quite syncopated rhythms. It can be polyrhythmic at sometimes. Not polyrhythmic. What's it called? Polyphonic. Yeah. At sometimes. So the drums didn't need to do much, right? They just needed to sit there. They needed to have the kick on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4, just as it always is. And this fill is just something that sounded so good for some reason. It's literally, it was just the perfect way to bring everything in. Yeah. One thing I can talk about, I wanted to do these quarter note triplets on the ride. So, it's kind of just a confusing rhythm to listen to, but then it goes. And this is another fill that came to me immediately. It's just an indie rock fill. And after that fill, the verse opens out, another guitar joins in, and I decided it's a perfect time to open up to the ride. And then pre-chorus, matching the dum 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 that the guitars play. So I played, and then like whatever rhythm I felt like playing. I had a few fills like stuff like that, or these sextuplets things that I like to do every time. But mostly it was kind of just improvised, those fills. I wanted to have fun with it. And usually the way you have fun and make some drumming sound good on stage is often a bit of improvisation with your fills. So I didn't want to limit myself too much with that, and I just wanted to be able to express myself in the moment and play what I wanted to play. And I love what I played at the O2. I wouldn't change it, and that's why I love improvisation. I listened to it back and I think that was perfect. But enough waffling, let's move on to chorus. It's kind of like quite a solemn chorus, and the lyrics, I want to feel alive, you know, it's kind of, it feels a bit angry but melancholy at the same time, so I just made the hi-hats a bit trashier, give it that more emotion. Again, those rhythms, I want to feel alive, bow, 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 just matching those. Sound like a broken record, but just listening to the rhythms but my bandmates are playing and matching those has just been really important. And it's always something that I've done, but it's something that I've really developed, particularly recently. So yeah, what else can I talk about this song? I mean, obviously there's G major hits, so it's going to be, I think it's a dotted crotchet and then dun, 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 dotted crotchet and 3 quavers. So, and I don't want to live. And then again. And I don't want to live. And that fill is something you can kind of listen to for bringing all the instruments back. It's kind of like a motif for bringing everything in, right? So you you know everything's going to hit. It just gives that listener a bit of satisfaction, being able to anticipate what's going to happen in the song. It's a very important part of enjoying a live performance, right? You know, if you're listening to a new song for the first time and you kind of can anticipate that something's going to happen, or they're going to bring in the chorus, or you learn the melody or whatever, on the first time listening to it, you're instantly going to remember that song. And it's just a little, even though that's how simple it is, it's just a little motif that the listeners can listen to. Now, we talk about, so the bridge. So it's just, they bring it back down to the refrain of see it, feel it, oh so quietly. And then me and Nico wanted to play the same rhythm from the verse, so, but under that. So I do it on a kick and a ride this time. He played it on a G. I think it would probably be a G or a C. We're in G, so I think it's G. So. I went into half time for the outro, and I matched. So Nico has a bass line that goes bom, ba da ba dum, ba da ba bum bum bum, ba da ba dum, ba da ba dum bum, and I matched that. So. And then he goes into a slap, ba-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. And this I felt is normal time again, so. And yeah, that's the thought processes behind my drum parts. Hope you enjoyed. Bloody hell, 27 minutes.